Okay, hey, good evening, everybody. Let's see, can everyone or anybody hear me?
Well, I hear you, Matt. Are you
Okay,
there too?
thank you. I can hear you.
Okay, good.
Hey, folks.
Hello, Melinda. We'll get started in just a minute or two. I am expecting one or two more people. It will be probably a small meeting tonight, but we've got plenty to look at. While we're waiting, let me put our regular meeting links in the chat. This won't be new to anyone, I think, who's here. These are just our regular meeting links for Zoom, for the downloads, and for tonight's straw poll. And of course, speaking of the poll, we do have a small group tonight. About 11 photos. But we will be taking our poll after the slideshow. If you'd like to participate in the poll while you watch the slideshow, the link is on the screen. Actually, let me share that. If you're watching our YouTube stream, the link is there. And there it is for everyone following along on Zoom. So before we get started, does anyone have anything they'd like to share? What I am going to do is put a photo up on the screen. This is a photo we enjoyed last week, Bridge Palace alignment. Melinda contributed this high-resolution version that we could scroll around like we did last week. And I had quite a bit of fun exploring it myself. There's a lot of detail in here. So why don't we poke around here while we're waiting for our next participants. And I'm going to start here just because this high-resolution version shows a lot of detail that wasn't there in the kind of regular version we saw last week.
Are you left-right swapped, or is that just me?
That is cross view, which I like, but isn't standard.
Okay, I can switch that. There we go. Now it's parallel view.
I have a viewer for parallel, but don't have a viewer for cross-eyed.
It's a skill.
Yeah, it's not hard to learn. Definitely worth the effort. The advantage is you can fill your entire visual field image as opposed to parallel where you can only use a narrow width of your view.
Never thought about that.
One thing I noticed poking around here, let me go to the statues that we were admiring last week, these silhouettes of the statues. I do see, even though this is a high resolution version, I do see some compression artifacts. Let me turn my cursor back on. Hang on 1 second here. There we go. Oh, I just lost it. There they are. One thing that I wanted to point out, well, I lost my my cursor here, but you notice there's sort of a halo around these figures. Those are compression artifacts, JPEG compression artifacts. And I'm willing to bet that in an uncompressed version, right out of the camera, these halos probably aren't there. Just something to note. I've never had a problem with retinal rivalry in stereo photography caused by JPEG compression artifacts, but it is a thing when you start really zooming in.
No, thanks for pointing that out.
There's a chance Topaz might have a setting to reduce those.
I know that Photoshop has a, well, I think they have a regular filter. I'm not sure exactly how effective it is. Topaz would probably have a more effective filter. So yeah, thanks, Melinda, for contributing this. Did you have anything you wanted to add regarding this high-res version?
Not really. I mean, you might zoom in on the deck of the bridge. That's there's just a surprising amount of detail there.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's see. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you can keep going.
Keep going. That's... I'm getting a little too close there, I think.
Okay.
Okay. Are you able to see that in stereo? Does that work in stereo for you?
Yeah, it does. It's I prefer cross-eyed, but this still works.
Let me throw it up in cross-eyed for you. I just want to adjust the other streams so that we're all looking at the same thing more or less in our supported formats. And let's go cross-eyed on Zoom. There you go. So for those who are free viewing or using a beam splitter or something on our Zoom share, it probably just went pseudo for you, but that was intentional.
And if you don't want to zoom in, you might want to zoom up so that the figures are off the bottom of the screen because they're now, of course, too far apart.
Yeah, let's see what I can find here. There we go.
Perfect.
That is, yeah, more comfortable. And I'll do the same on YouTube. Okay. Yeah, that's not really working for me on the side by side on my loom pad, but it looks, okay in the anaglyph for whatever that's worth. All right, well, thank you, Melinda. Let's look at this in the original composition again before we move on. Actual size. Very nice. Okay. Since we have a small group, and I'm going to give Oleg a call here because I am expecting him. I haven't randomized tonight's slideshow. Like last week, I kept the photos organized by maker, and we'll do the same tonight. And we are going to start with Jay. And Jay's first through the window entry tonight. Yes, I should remind everyone tonight's subject is through the window. This is definitely through the window. It's Special Cherries 2. Jay, what can you tell us about this? I think you showed something similar last week.
Exactly, it was the same shoot as last week. Just cherry farm, using my cell phone, cha-cha, and I shot multiple and just chose the ones, that had the best separation.
I still had that in cross-eyed mode, so for those who are following along on Zoom, it should, there we go, it just fixed itself for me.
Yeah. So, had two that had good through the window.
It's really the depth that makes this one work, I think. Of the three that you've submitted, this is the best.
Yeah.
And
It's nice. Yeah, nice advantage that I didn't have too far in the background. Kept the depth budget, reasonable.
well, it's I think what really makes it work is that tiny little bunch in the upper right. It's something for the eye to sort of latch onto in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Because without that, then it's just the cherries in front. So it's sort of nothing wrong with in your face, but it would be a much simpler composition otherwise. This gives a lot more of the the 3D magic.
Yeah, and rule of thirds, things lined up.
Yeah, but they're at different depths, which is the real strength of 3D, I think.
Rule of cubes.
Rule of 27s, I guess. Yeah. But Oleg is very much right about that. A variety of depths is sort of the 3D equivalent of that, and this one really takes advantage of that.
Yeah, I think Oleg literally does have a rule of 27s or something along those lines.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a nice little maze, or just it's fun to be able to explore in and out and not just side to side.
And we've got another one from Jay, and it is Cherries 3.
Yeah, just basically the same.
Well, I think you got a lot out of that trip.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is the more through the window version. The leaves coming right out. That's That's the main figure.
Yeah, this one to me really looks like I can just reach out and grab it.
Yeah, they're both great. But it's amazing to me how different they are.
All right, I'm gonna go offline for just a minute. I want to give Oleg a text because we actually have some photos by him. So talk amongst yourselves. I will be back in 60 seconds or so.
Hi, everyone. These are cross-eyed to me right now.
That
Yeah,
does look cross to me. Yeah. It's
Very nice colors.
yeah, image quality is great. Those cherries are so shiny.
Yeah, Motorola cell phone. Yeah, they've been improving the cameras.
I think the lighting is really good too. You've got this beautiful dappled light sort of filtering through.
Yeah, yeah, just
It's not too hot, not too dark.
yep, lucked out on the day. Though,
Do you know what time of day roughly?
it was about 2 o'clock.
Yeah, mid-afternoon.
Yeah. I do have a big diffuser reflector that I probably should keep in the car trunk.
That's a good idea. I don't think this one needs it though. Although I guess you could turn down the exposure and bring more light in.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
it's a
don't-
bit hot. The
Yeah.
highlights. Yeah.
That's the only issue I see, and that's pretty minor too. It's small enough to be just perfectly acceptable, but if you wanted to be really strict, you could probably improve that.
Oh, have another opportunity next year.
Oh, with the cherry season, yeah. How long is cherry season anyway?
Like 3 weeks or so.
God, that's
Yeah.
just so short.
All right, thanks for waiting, everyone. Oleg will arrive when he arrives. Lee, did you say that you were seeing the pseudo?
Cross.
Yes,
So,
they are cross to me.
are you looking at the zoom? Yes, you are absolutely right. Okay. That should pop back into parallel view anytime now, if it hasn't already. I'll leave it up for a
Yes,
few more moments.
that is parallel.
Great. Sorry about
Thank you.
that. All right. Thank you, Jay. Our next four are by Oleg, and Oleg hasn't made it yet. I am expecting him. So I think we are going to go past his and enjoy one by Bob Bloomberg. The title is Stepping Out. I'm going to jump ahead to photo number 7 for those who are following along with the download files. And if you're following along on YouTube, this will catch up in a few moments. Bob, are you with us?
I don't see Bob either.
Oh, okay. Wow, people are dropping off. It must be these summer evenings. I don't know. It's a nice one. It's labeled as a conversion, and looking at the foliage, it is sort of masked. But if Bob makes it back, we'll hear from him. Does anyone have any thoughts about this before we move on?
It's kind of a sepia tone look, which might be the intent, but
I think
I'd kind of like to see a little realistic, more realistic colors.
the border might contribute to that. The color of the
Border is
border.
okay. I don't mind the color of the border. It does accentuate it, but and it's not a problem. It's very possibly just his intention.
Yeah, it's not very saturated. Not that it needs it.
I like the false border.
It's definitely through the window, yeah. Yeah, I wonder where this photo came from.
Oh wait, that front leg looks broken. I wonder if he did something funny to it.
It is definitely twisted up, it seems. Well, if he makes it
I
back, we'll find out
suspect
where this photo came from. It's possible he took it. Kind
it's
of
kind of
looks like
frightening.
he's being chased. Okay,
Yeah, I want to know more.
yeah, we'll ask. Melinda, I wasn't able to add that late edition, unfortunately.
No
I
problem.
didn't get to it in time. But we do have a couple from you here. And this is obtrusive flowers. Did I get that right? Yeah, obtrusive
Uh-huh.
flowers.
And yeah, this was just a quick snap I took on a walk, but it was it very much wanted to be a through the window kind of thing. Um, at least that's how it came out of the camera. And in fact, I couldn't really. There was nothing really to do in Photoshop, so this is a first for me. It's an image that was untouched by Photoshop. I just using Stereo Photomaker's basic um, cropping order, and that's pretty much it. This is right out of the camera.
Did you crop it much?
No, it's pretty
Wow.
much full screen except for setting the stereo window, and even that was probably pretty close to what came out of the camera. It was just kind of interesting to me that usually I have to do a fair amount of work to balance colors and things like that.
Well, that's how I like to make them. I like to spend as little time in Photoshop as possible. And for me, a lot of that is just laziness. I just rather not have to do all that work. I don't think this is missing anything at all. What do you guys think?
What, getting lost back in the grass?
Pat, is that your pointer?
Are you seeing a pointer? I guess it is, yeah. On my side, my cursor keeps disappearing. Should be out of the way now. I'm impressed that none of these blades of grass are coming through the window at the border. Everything is nicely contained that way.
Might be some along the bottom edge, but
It's not
that's
catching my
always,
eye.
that never matters as much.
Well, thank you, Melinda. We've got another one by you. This one's pretty remarkable. OG Angel is the title.
Yeah, so this was by Trader Joe's, San Francisco. There's a spot where there's usually a lot of pigeons on that corner. I think somebody is feeding them regularly, and I happen to have a little bread after shopping at Trader Joe's, so I thought I would throw some crumbs out there and see if I could get some pigeons in the air. And this is one of the snaps I took. This is actually zoomed in quite a bit. Yeah, I just found it kind of delightful, this sort of finding this one guy hanging in the air like that, looking for the food,
It's
knowing the
incredible.
drill.
Was it hovering? Was it staying in place more or less, or was this a fast flying pigeon?
He's coming in for a steep, slow landing. I was looking around for where the food might be, but so I had thrown some food out, which made half of them jump in the air and sort of fly around the corner, and then I sort of prepared for them to come back around the corner, and took this snap as they were all coming back.
This is a hydrogen one shot, I presume.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just incredible how fast the shutter is and how accurate the synchronization is.
During the daylight, for sure.
Yeah.
It struggles at night.
All right. Well, thank you, Melinda. Bob, welcome back. We saw we lost you there for a minute. We do have one by you, and I'm going to go back to photo number 7. Bob, we talked about this a little bit. It should be on your screen momentarily. The title is Stepping Out.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know if I did any more work on that since, but yeah, this was a conversion of a 2D image that I took in Africa.
So you are the photographer.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And live to tell the
convert
tale.
And Bob, what did you use to make the conversion?
Leopix
Okay.
converter. Didn't do a 100% job, but enough to get me started. And then a lot of cutting and pasting in Photoshop. And I need to, normally when I project it on the LGTV, I can spot more areas that I didn't catch. A couple of the images, just working on some that I submitted earlier today, that I noticed some problems with when I projected them. But on the whole, I was pretty happy with this guy.
And he's definitely coming, or she is definitely coming through the window.
Yeah, can't sex them from this angle. But
Right.
these were baby orphan elephants. It was taken at an orphanage in Tanzania,
Were they?
and it was
Mhm.
feeding time. And I was standing between them and the food, so I had to act quickly and get out of the way.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you were being chased.
No. Actually, they kind of kept us off to the side and let me sneak up a couple of feet just into the path a little bit as they were coming up.
Well, it definitely benefits from the conversion. It's a nice 3D composition with the figure in the back. I like the
Yeah.
border too.
Thanks. Yeah, I noticed, there are a couple of areas I might want to go in and tweak. But yeah, I've just been very impressed with the AI conversion. I tried that. Someone recommended Owl as another source. Apparently, they don't charge you credits or whatever. And John Hart, Colorado, recommended it at the at 3D Con. And unfortunately, it doesn't work on my newest version of OS. So I may have to try it on a different computer.
Is Owl, is it like a standalone program?
Yeah, I
something
believe
you
so. I
install?
think it's, I haven't done that much research on it, but I trust John. A couple other people had used it and liked it. I think it's a free shareware
Okay.
program. I'll do some research on it, get back. But right now I'm just, for the amount of times I've used Leapix for free before they started doing their credit system, it seems like a minor
Yeah.
fee to pay, whatever they're charging, $7 for 1,000 credits or whatever it is. So,
Well, it's encouraging to hear that there's some competition in the 2D to 3D conversion space.
yeah, it seems like everybody's getting in on it. I know, I think Photoshop even has its own
Oh,
program. I haven't looked into it that much, but I'll try to do some research.
Adobe has definitely lagged when it comes to tools for stereo photographers in Photoshop.
Yeah, I'd like to learn more about the manipulation of the depth map, because right now basically what I'm doing is pretty primitive. Like I'll be grabbing, if I know an area I want to make more 3D, I'll just cut and paste and then use the warp tool and preview it as I'm doing it and kind of moving little sections, which is very time consuming, but at least lets me look at it in real time.
Well, Peter Sinclair did a nice workshop on depth maps and Leapix, and I know that is still posted on our website. Of course, that was, done what, I think 6 months ago. So that's ancient history now. Of course, since then, Leapix has changed to Immersify, and they have a whole new AI conversion method. But yeah, I'd love to know more about Photoshop and depth maps. myself. Very nice. And Bob, I hope you're feeling better. You were
Yeah, so
down with
far,
COVID last week.
knock wood. Yeah, it's been, I've lost a week and a half out of my life here. But yeah, a lot of people have been coming down with this.
Yeah,
all over. But I think I mentioned last time that as of the last count, it's over 10% of the attendees at 3DCon came down with positive
Wow.
COVID.
Yeah, there is a summer spike. Bob, I'm sorry I wasn't able to get your late entries in tonight's slideshow. Sometimes I am. Today was just a long day for me, and I didn't get back in front of my computer in time enough to set it up and
Yeah, I didn't know
all
if
the
there was going to be a
streams.
meeting, given the conflict on the website when I visited it. So I didn't try to get something in on Sunday. So
Yeah, lesson learned. Next time I'll be more clear. And I won't try to cram 2 meetings into one, which was my big scheme for this month, which obviously just caused confusion more than anything else.
no good deed goes
Exactly. So thank you, Bob.
Sure.
Now, that actually concludes our slideshow, except for 2 photos that I received from China by a photographer named Fenghua Zhou. And Fenghua Zhou is in China, and I don't know what time it is there. So I don't know if Fenghua will be joining us. But they submitted 2 really beautiful lotus photos that are through the window. And I would really appreciate it if we could share some comments, at least for the YouTube stream, which can be referenced later if Fenghua is not able to make it to tonight's meeting. So this is the first one. The title of both is Lotus. And for this one, I do have some notes. And what I can tell you about this is this was taken at a Lotus exhibition in Shanghai. I guess this would have been 2 weeks ago. It was taken with a Proma 3D smartphone. That is a device with a lens spacing of 15 millimeters. Stereo Photomaker was used for alignment, and Photoshop for color adjustment and blackening of the background. I think the lighting is really beautiful on this, and I don't know anything about the device, but it certainly captured a lot of detail, and it seems to be the perfect interocular distance for this sort of macro photo. Does anyone have anything they'd like to, any comments they'd like to make about this?
I agree about the lighting. It's beautiful. Might crop the right side just a little bit, but gorgeous color. Looks pretty good. Slightly soft on the loom pad. I'm wondering if running it through a little sharpening in topaz would bring out a little more clarity in it, but it's a gorgeous photo.
Yeah, image quality is good.
Getting a little bit of ghosting in the bottom leaf there, that bright area, and the back leaf on the loom pad.
I see that too, yeah.
Previewing, yeah, I might either dim that or get rid of that lower spot.
Yeah, I agree. The pedal that's sticking out in the middle is bugging me a little bit. I kind of want to see around it, like if it was shot a little bit from the left. It's not too extreme. It's just kind of in the way.
I put a link in the chat to a product page for the Proma 3D smartphone, which was used to make this stereo photo. And I'm not familiar with it, as I said. It looks like it's a auto stereo device with a stereo camera and some 3D features. No ghosting, no dizziness, according to the marketing copy here. So check it out if you're interested. I don't know what the cost is. It says the price is $0. I don't think that's accurate, but it looks like a very interesting device. Let's take a look at the second Lotus photo that was submitted. And this one's a little brighter. I think it's, I don't know if it's the same Lotus from another angle or a different Lotus, but it'll be popping up on your stream any moment now. And this one is very much in front of the window. Is anyone viewing this on a 3D TV? Yeah, I think Oleg is the only one.
Is it possible to flip back to the original one for just a
Absolutely.
second?
Absolutely. That'll pop up for you momentarily here.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I was just curious if that speck on the leaf was in the same position here, indicating the same flower, but I don't think it is. So thanks.
These are very sharp images of the petals. Very nice.
Yeah, I see a lot of detail, particularly in the second one, and I really like the addition of the green, the lit leaves on this one. They're both very beautiful. I think they're a very nice, nice test of this camera. Speaking of cameras, Jay, I noticed you put a link in the chat about how a software update degraded the quality of the this is the LoomPad 2's camera.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit what happened. You're the best LoomPad 2 stereo photographer I know. I think, didn't you? No, you didn't take the cherry photos with the LoomPad. You did a cha-cha with those, right?
Yeah, last was the Tibetan festival.
Right, right. That was
Like,
last month, I think.
yeah, and I'm not sure if that was before or after. I haven't actually tested this out myself. But basically, your resolution is going to be greatly reduced.
That's a shame. Was there a reason for that, or was that done in air?
Now that Nima's not there, we don't have real insight.
Right.
So, hopefully Josh has the ear of somebody there, and we can just do normal, tech support. The tech support, they've got a forum. So that's probably the best way of telling them it's an issue.
Okay. Thanks for letting us know.
Yeah.
Maybe everyone who has a loom pad 2
Yeah.
should.
Yeah. So basically, to get back, you have to factory reset and never update.
Yeah, that's no good.
No.
That's just asking for trouble. Bad updates happen sometimes, so hopefully they're on top of this one, and the next update will remedy it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, Jay.
Yeah.
Oh, and Mike, thank you for posting that Owl 3D conversion link. That's also in the chat. And yeah, it looks like it's a downloadable program. Now, I'm on Windows, and it says download for Windows. Bob, do you know, is this also supported on the Mac?
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. Although the download for the Mac that I tried was not working on my 2024 Creative Cloud Suite. So it may not be caught up yet with that, but I do have other computers running earlier versions, so I may give it a try.
Well, I'll give this a try also. Not now. I have a feeling if I were to download and install a program, it would probably crash my whole computer.
And I've got a Windows machine as well, so I can try it on that.
Great, yeah. I have both as well, so I'm very curious to try this. I have no complaints personally about the program formerly known as Leapix, Immersify, I guess it's called now. But this is definitely worth trying. This is definitely exciting. To me, it is, at least. I personally feel like maybe we're experiencing another 3D stereo fad, just in a different way. New tech is exposing 3D to a whole new generation, a whole new audience. So, let's hope that sticks this time.
Yep.
Probably not, but we can always dream. And we'll always have the Golden Gate Stereoscopic Society. All right. Well, as I promised, it was a short meeting tonight. I thought we could cram 2 meetings into one, but in hindsight, I'm glad that we didn't. That would have been too compressed a meeting last week. So I am going to suggest that we call it an evening. But before we do that, I will open the floor to anyone who has anything they'd like to share, any news, announcements, movie recommendations, photography recommendations.
Straw poll question. Since we didn't have Oleg, what do we do?
Yeah, we. Why don't we look at Oleg's and then we can do the poll. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
We won't have the benefit of Oleg's comments, but
Will this be on YouTube for him to look
it
at
will,
later?
yes, it will.
Okay.
Okay. So I am sharing my screen again, and I am going to go backwards to photo number 3. And this will just take a few moments to catch up. And these are definitely through the window. The first photo that he entered is coming right up here. It's cyclist enters the Bay Trail. And we can see that cyclist is definitely through the window. And I'm sure that moon is enhanced. If that is the moon, maybe it's a lens flare or something.
I bet it's the moon, and knowing Oleg, it's probably correct. Maybe he used a long lens, but it's probably real.
I can say quite definitely from this vantage point, looking over that wetland, across the bay, into the hills back there, I was looking straight into my neighborhood where I am live streaming from right now. Those are the Richmond refineries, the Chevron refineries to the left. You can see the Richmond San Rafael Bridge. And just behind those refineries, yeah, that's home base for the Golden Gate Stereoscopic Society. I don't think
Can you
Oleg knew
wave
that,
your hand?
but yeah, maybe we can zoom in. We'll have him take a high
Enhance.
resolution version. You can see me through my window, looking at my computer.
That's a very unusual format he put it in.
Yeah, it's a
With the
very creative
titles and
frame.
the cuts and so on.
Very creative frame, yeah. And I like how he's using the frame to place the title as well. That's not something that he usually does, although I think he did exhibit one last week using a similar technique. Okay, the next one by Oleg is Hawk Hill Driveways. And we know that Mount Tam is back there. So this is the second
nice.
one by Oleg where we're getting a description of what the background is.
I like the framing. I question the depth at which the titles are placed. I would like them to be closer to the window.
I agree. Yeah. Yeah, it's a really nice kind of hexagon thing, but it's weird with the text being so deep.
Yeah,
I love how it divides the screen into that sort of split level effect. It's really two different pictures.
Yeah, it looks like the title is at the window, but the frame extends out in front of the window. So it kind of it definitely looks strange. I would have liked him to put some perspective on the title so that it follows the frame through the window. And he got great light on the dog walker, the person and the dog. They're standing just in that pool of light. Most of the rest of the scene is, the foreground at least, is shaded. He's getting very creative with the framing of these. The next one by Oleg is Igor Admires His Work. And we can tell where this was taken, June Lake, California.
I like that reflection of the tree.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'd love to know if he manipulated the colors in this one.
Yeah, it does look a little saturated. Nothing wrong with it.
Not at all. So he must be admiring that painting, which appears to be a dodo, and is that Alice? This is what we need Oleg here for. It adds a nice layer of depth. And then Oleg's final photo for this evening is view southwest from Olmsted Point.
Another hexagon. Maybe we're Oleg's in his hexagon period.
I think this is a new technique for him. I don't think I've seen this before from anyone.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, this one works really well. It looks like there is some on the border for the frame where those two boulders intersect. In the right eye, there appears to be something. Looks like they didn't quite make a straight line.
Oh yeah,
Something that could be cleaned up.
yeah. It looks like he did a flood fill in it.
Maybe so, yeah.
It filled in too much on the right eye. Yeah, good eye.
Yeah, and a
Oh
great
yeah, and the left eye has a little ghosting. Is that what you were talking about?
I don't see it so much in the left eye. I'll zoom in.
The border, the closest border, like where it meets the shoe of the person in the background.
Yeah.
There's a doubled kind of a fringe that goes all the way around the
Oh.
border, around the boulder.
I think I see what you mean. Here, I'm going to use
Looks like he did
the cropping.
looks like he moved. I think he moved the boulder a little bit and left an artifact in the left eye.
I think let me highlight it on the other streams also. Yeah, this is kind of fun being able to highlight these things. But yeah, I see it. Oleg will see it too when he views this on YouTube.
It's not zooming in though. I see your selection, but it doesn't zoom.
Are you watching the Zoom share, or what are the YouTube streams?
Sorry, I was talking about the zooming in the in your in the Zoom meeting. I see you creating a selection rectangle, but not
Pretty zoomed in now.
not zooming in.
Let me zoom back out.
Or I guess, okay, yeah, you had zoomed. I guess it would just help to go a little further to see that ghosting.
Yeah, on Zoom, I'm zoomed all the way out now, back to the original. Is
Yeah,
that what you see?
yeah.
And then I can zoom in. And now I'm zoomed in on that boulder there. And then we also had talked about the sort of cruddy area here around that border. So Oleg will see that. I'm just manipulating this on the other YouTube streams. There we go. Thank you, Oleg, wherever you are tonight. We will hear from you probably at our next meeting. Perhaps he's on the road tonight. Okay, that concludes Oleg's 4 contributions for this evening. What do you say we do the straw poll? I'm going to go back to the title screen here. And I may be repeating myself to this group, but I guess it bears repeating. We are going to select our 3 favorites from our group of 11 stereo photos tonight. The link for the poll is displayed on the screen, strawpoll.com/ggss. If you're using a phone or tablet, there's also a QR code there for you to scan. This is optional, of course, and this is not a competition, but we are curious about the most popular photos in tonight's slideshow. So what I'll do is I will run through these. I'll stay on each one for just a few moments. I will repeat the title and maker, and then we'll make our selections, and then we'll see the results as well. So I will start now, starting with J, Special Cherries 2. Next is Special Cherries 3 by Jay. Cyclist Enters the Bay Trail by Oleg. Hawk Hill Driveways by Oleg. Igor Admires His Work by Oleg. View Southwest from Olmsted Point by Oleg. Stepping Out by Bob Bloomberg. Obtrusive Flowers by Melinda. OG Angel by Melinda. And we have Lotus by Fenghua Zhou. And we have a second stereo photo titled Lotus, also by Fenghua Zhou. And those are our photos in tonight's slideshow. Let's take a few moments, maybe a minute or two, and make our selections. Now, given the small group tonight, these results certainly won't be scientific, but we'll see what they are regardless. Does anyone need more time making their selection? I'll just give it another 30 seconds or so, and I will share the results.
I think everyone has voted.
Yeah, I think you're right. Let's take a look. Okay, well, things are pretty evenly split. Jay, your cherries were the most popular of the evening, so well done. And thank you for sharing those. I'm glad to see Oleg was represented, as well as Bob and Melinda twice. And, oh, that's great that Fenghua Zhou's also represented here. Thank you, everyone. And thank you for coming to a summer evening meeting. August meetings are never the most well attended, but I am always encouraged. Each year I expect no one to show up, and we always get a bigger group than I expect. So thank you for making it out tonight. I do have one more announcement to make that I forgot to mention, and this is just a reminder. I think I announced it last week as well. The 2024 Chicago Lighthouse 76th International Exhibition of Stereo Photography is now open. The exhibition closes September 28th, so you have plenty of time to procrastinate. I'll try to remind everyone again at our next meeting in September. And I will put the link to that in the chat. If you've participated before, you've probably received an email reminder. If you haven't participated before, please do. It's important that we support these international exhibitions. This is a PSA event, and our stereo photography definitely needs to be shared with the world, and I'll leave it at that. So check out the link in the chat. Check your inbox. You may have an email reminder waiting for you there already. Our next meeting is Tuesday, September 3rd, and the special subject for September is architecture. The first meeting will be our open division. The second meeting, which is the second Tuesday, will be the special. can I answer any questions about that or anything else regarding the Golden Gate Stereoscopic Society or stereophotography or anything I might possibly know? All right, I'm going to call it tonight. We'll make it a short one. Thank you again, and we will see you in September. Good night, everyone. See you later.
Yeah.